In order to subscribe for my channel, please click here or click here. Please like, share, and comments on my videos and channel. The next step configuration category we have is Service Catalog. That means you can do Service Catalog testing with ServiceNow ATF. Under this category, we have different step configurations, and those are open a catalog item, open a record producer, set variable values, set catalog item quantity, validate variable values, variable state validation, validate price and reoccurring price, add item to shopping cart, order catalog item, and the last one is submit record producer. So let's see how exactly you can do service catalog testing. That means you can test your service catalog forms and service catalog items and record producers. This is my personal developer instance. In order to create a new test, I will click here and I will just mention ATF demo service catalog testing. I will click on save. It is saved, and now I will add a step. Here I will go to service catalog, and that is this option. So these are the categories we have. Here we have all the steps. So we have service catalog. Under service catalog, you can see we have all these configurations. So we will start with open a catalog item. So for that, I will click on next. Now when you will see this open catalog item, you will see what catalog item you want to open. So the only input variable you will see here, just catalog item. So here what I can do, I will just select the sample one. Now in your personal developer instance, you will definitely find a sample item. It would be inactive. However, you have to make it active to make it available right here so that you can test it, because it is inactive as of now. If you will get a new personal developer instance, you will see that that sample item will be inactive, but you can use this. But as I want to show you the demo just to test the service catalog forms and record producers, I'm just using sample item for catalog item. For record producer, we will definitely use the existing incident management record producer. So let me open this one first. So we will select sample item. Now what exactly this step would do? This step will open the catalog item. Just like a user open the item for you, it will open the same item. So we will click on submit, and then we will go to the next step. In next step, we have open a record producer. So I'm not going to open this one as of now because I want to test the catalog item which I have just opened. So in that case, I will go to set variable values, or maybe I have some validations as well. That means validate variable values, variable state validations. Okay, that's something you can also, but what we can do, we can just set the variable values first. So I will click on next. Now in this particular option, you can set the variable values. That means when you will open the form, you definitely show a lot of different variables to your consumer, your end user. Then you can set those variable values directly from here. You can see as an output, it automatically took the previous catalog item automatically. So you don't have to select it. And here I can just do variable values. And here I can mention, so I have different values over here. Now, so that you understand what exactly it is testing, let me open up that catalog item so that you understand better. In that case, I will go to, I will not type it here for now. I will go to service catalog and I will open this particular list and try to search for item. Yep, so we have the sample item. You can see it's active right now because I have activated it. But if you will get a fresh instance, you might find this inactive. Now you can see we have all these variables. Like you create a catalog form, you create variables. So what I will do, I will click on try it. When you will click on try it, you will see all these variables. So the first one is yes, it is by default. Let's do one thing. Let's just set as no. So we will go back to our form and we will say yes, no. So that's the first one. That's the name of the variable. So I have set it no because we want to see whether it is setting that value or not. Then we will go to, let's see, multi-line text. So I have, now you must have seen one thing over here, that this is showing you the backend name, actual name, not the label name which is shown to the end user. It is showing you the backend name so that you can identify that which variable you have to utilize here. So it says multi-text. I will set here multi-text, and here I will write ATF demo for SaaS. Just an example here. I will go my form again. It says multi-choice nuts and soup, not soap. So we can do that as well. Let's go to multi-choice field. Here I can set soup. That's done. So let's try this. I'm just setting these three values. Do we have any mandatory one? I don't have any mandatory. You also have date and time. Let's try to set the date because you're just thinking that user is doing that. So let's select date one. I have selected date. And here I can select any date I want, maybe 22. I'm done, and now I'm going to submit it. So these are the input variables for set variable values. I will submit this. Now this will happen on client. It's just similar like your user goes to the form, open the catalog item form, fill up the values on the variable. Similarly, you are doing the same thing like for testing. I will go to add next step, and then we have, let's validate the variable values. In that case, I will click on next. Here I have to validate it. Now, if you remember, in my multi-text, I just mentioned contains ATF. So let's just do contains. That should contain, and I have put in the ATF text. So I'm just validating it. So here you can validate. Now in this step, you can validate the values. Now why this step is very important. So for example, if you are showing some values automatically, maybe you are pulling up some record, pulling up some server data, and you are showing that on the form. Maybe that is read only. In that case, this particular step will be really useful because you can test it whether you are getting the right values or not. So for example, if you are impersonating the user, maybe as an idle user, or maybe the end user, and that end user has some details like first name, last name, and maybe you are showing those information automatically on the form, and those are read only. In that case, you can validate it. The user who's actually impersonating the record, is he really getting the same details on the form? In that case, your test will be successful. That's how you can utilize this particular step. So as of now, I'm just clicking on submit. So I have added this third step as well. I will click on add test step. And then we have add to item to shopping cart. So if you want to add this item to shopping cart, you can also do that. So what I can do, I will just add it. So it says it should successfully add the item to shopping cart. Do I have any? Cannot add item. Okay. It also says cannot add item. So if I have not opened it for shopping cart, I should not be able to add it. But in this case, you will just add it, and I will click on submit. And then I will click on add next step. So I have added the item. Do you want to change the quantity? And we did have quantity if you remember. So if I go to my form, we do have quantity as well. So that means if I select here and just maybe before adding to the cart, what I will do, I will add step. but I will do it after validating the variables. I will click on next. Okay, I have to select that one. Set catalog item. I will validate variable, this one, and this time I will set the quantity of my catalog item. If I have given that option, let's select 5 and I will click on submit. Once you will click on submit, so that particular step will also be added. So this is the utilization of this particular step. So the functionality, as I showed you, that if you want to set the quantity for your catalog item, you can use this particular step. Let's go to next. Then I think which one we can select. We can select the order catalog item. I think that will be better. You can also validate the price if you want. And if I go here, I don't have any particular, I think, pricing, but that's fine. And now I will just go to order catalog item. I will click on order, and let's see, it says successfully ordered the item, and I click on submit. Let's see what happens, because this will somehow order the catalog item which we have added, and that's it. So we have added this whole catalog item, putting some values, validating some values, changing the quantity, and we have added to the shopping cart. So I have used around six different items. Now what I can do, 6 different step configurations. I will just try to impersonate and create a new user, and that will be server 1. Here I will just go to at the top, I will just create a random user, and here I will mention ATF I can mention here end user. I'm not going to put any role. If you want, you can do that read role, which we have like SNC read role, I think. Read only if you want, but let's remove this. I'm not going to give this one as well. So, but I want to impersonate this. I want to click on submit. Now in this way, you will also become to know it might happen that some of the catalog items are not visible to some of the users if you have put in that kind of condition and added the visibility in your catalog item. And if this user will not have like maybe will not have access to see those catalog items, then I think your test will fail. So in this case, what we can do, I can just now run the test. So let's click on run the test and see what happens. So we are going to our client test runner, and let's see what happens. So it is just opening the test runner. Okay, let's see what happens. So it is executing. It has impersonated ATF end user. You can see it has set the value as no, ATF's demo for SaaS. Also, it has selected the soup. It has changed the quantity as well. It has added to the cart. That's a good thing. And the final thing was the submission, and it has done. So it has also submitted ordered the catalog item which we have selected. And let's go back to our form testing. Here the test was running and everything is passed. And let's see what kind of results we are getting. So it has passed everything. Now these are the test logs. If you want to see what kind of record you got, how exactly it tested, what data it created, what was the sysid, everything you can see in test log. But overall, our whole test got passed. Let's go back to our test. Now, as of now, you have seen the test for catalog item. Now we will do it for record producer. And for which record producer, I will show you again. I will show you the list. I will just keep this open, this one. And I'm just opening the one which I want to test as a record producer. If I press enter, you can see we have report an incident. It's false, but we will use this one, create incident. I'm just opening this, and this is record producer, and this is also out of the box. we have these variables. So we have contextual search results as well. And we have two different variables where we will put the values. And you can also see is if I click on preview item, you can see this. You can see we have these options. So let's do that. Let's go to the test. Now this time I will add a step, but for record producer. And how exactly I can do that? It says open a record producer. So I will click on next. Now here you can see as part of the input variable, we have just record producer. In open catalog item, it just takes that input that you can open the catalog item. For this one, we have record producer as an input. So I can search for incident one, and that's create incident. You can see the inactive one, it's not showing the inactive one that says report incident. So that's why I'm saying for that sample item, you have to make it active. So I'm just selecting this one and I don't have to do anything else. I can just click on submit. So this opening the record producer step will be opened. Now, rest of the thing are still same. For example, setting the variable values. That is still validating it. If you want to validate the state, everything is same. And this one is just similar, like we have form state validations like mandatory, read only, those kind of things. And if I go here, you can see both the fields are mandatory. And that's really good thing. So let's try that as well because we have not tested this one. So before that, I will try to first validate. So I will click on next. Here you can see we have these available, and the good thing is it shows you the available items, available variables for that particular catalog item. That means the record producer which you have selected. As of now, we have selected the record producer. Anyhow, record producer is a kind of catalog item as well. So here what I can do, I can select urgency and visible. So yep, these two are visible. That's true. I think there's no read only, so but we do have mandatory, so both these variables are mandatory. And what I can do, I can just submit it. So I have submitted it, so that step is also added. I will click on add test step again. I will try to set variable values, so I will click on next. Here I will set the variable values. You can automatically see that I don't have to worry about fields and variables which you have on the form. It automatically those variables which you can select it. That means your end user can select it. Maybe your tester, manual tester can select it. So in this case, I will select urgency and I will set it as high. And here I can do comments and I can put maybe SaaS demo is working. Yeah, that's just a simple text I'm putting, and I'm just clicking on submit. So I have this step as well, and what I can do, I can just click on add test step. We are done with this one, this one. I don't want any quantity for record producer because that's an incident. You can validate the variable values for record producer as well. Similarly, you did it for catalog item. So if you want, I can validate it. I can validate the urgency, whether it's high or not. I'm just telling it. We will try to fail it as well. But as of now, we are going to pass it. Or let's fail it. Let's fail and let's see what exactly happens. I'm just opening it again and I'm just doing it medium. That means I'm validating whether it has set the value as medium. But in real world, if you can see, in reality, we have mentioned the high value, the high choice. So it has take me to here. I will go to my test again. Maybe automated. This is my test. I will open it. So I have validate variable values. I will do a step. Now this time I will, for submitting it basically, I will click on Submit Record Producer. For submitting the catalog item, you have to click on Order Catalog Item. But for Record Producer, it's different. It's a different step. We have Submit Record Producer. So I will click on Next. It will automatically take that record producer which we are selecting as of now, and I will just click on Submit. That's it. So it's done. And do we have any other step? I think it just validate the price and recurring price that you can do. If you have price on your catalog item, you can test it here as well. I'm not going to show this one, but as you can read, step to validate price and recurring price of a catalog item. You should have an open catalog item in order to test this. This step cannot be used after order catalog items. So you can't validate the price like after submitting it. So you have to make sure that you are doing it when you open a catalog item, because you can also show the prices on catalog item. So that's it, and now we will test it. But as you know, it will also run all these items. So in that case, what I will do, I will just make these items an inactive, because I don't need, you have already seen them, so I'm not going to use them. Till there, I'm going to make them inactive, and it's done. So they are inactive right now. So it will directly move to Open Record Producer after creating the user. So let me run this. I'm clicking on Run. It's again a client test runner. I can go to my client test runner. It's here, and you will see now. You can see it has opened the Record Producer. It is validating the mandatory fields. It has set in the value, but now it has failed. You didn't realize it, but you will come to know when you will go to your main screen, and here you can see it got failed, and we were aware of it. Why it got failed? Because it was checking, do I have the urgency as 2 medium? But in the reality, it was high, because we are setting that value ourselves. So it has got failed, and it was not able to submit it. So it got skipped. So what we will do, and you can see one more thing, and that's really important. That's a screenshot. And now you can see, which we had some issues in our previous section of form testing. You can see now we only have failure screenshot. It is not capturing every screenshot right now because of the same property which I showed you in the previous section. So if I just open this, you can open this as well. I will click here. It has downloaded it. And what I can do, I can just open that particular preview. You can see it is showing as high, and that's the reason it is showing you that failure. So I will go back to my test, and this time we will fix it. And that's how you can know that what things are failing, how exactly you can troubleshoot them. So it says validate variable values. So we know that we are pushing high. So we can't put it as urgency as 2. So I will make it high now, and I will update it. It will go to my test, and I will this time run it again. If I run this, you will not get a single failure. This is your test runner. You will see your record producer validating it, high, says demo is working, and you can see it's submitting the producer. It has submitted, and I got this incident created. Now the good part is, after creation of the incident, if you want to use something else, if you want to test something else, for example, your form testing, you can do it that as well in the same step configuration, in the same test basically. So you don't have to worry about it. These are all different steps under different categories. However, if you have some relation, if you think you will get a previous record and you want to open it, even it was open in catalog item, record producer, if you want to open it, you can definitely do that. So let's go to the test again. You can see everything is passed, no failures, and you will see nothing has been attached as a screenshot because we have disabled that property that it should only attach the screenshot for only failed steps only. So you are able to test service catalog item and record producer. So thanks for watching my video. Have a great day.